Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Susan, and thank you for tuning in to the Nightly Sports Call. Give us a call tonight, 412-575-2600 is the number. Ron Cook is my co-host tonight. We're taking your phone calls and your tweets. We're talking about the Steelers. Also, an expected quarterback change at Pitt. Is it the right move? Is it the wrong move? What do you guys think? I was told that the Panthers are going with Ben DiNucci at quarterback this weekend instead of Max Brown. Ron, what do you think? You think it's a good move, a bad move?
Yeah, you know, I don't see the practices, Rich. I don't know how those guys are practicing. I got to trust Narduzzi and the offensive coordinators' call on this. They see their guys, they know them. I haven't been blown away by either one of those guys, and you know, DiNucci's a young guy. He's got more of a future here, I guess, than the fifth-year transfer. So I'm not really surprised. But you know, sometimes when you have two quarterbacks, you don't have any, and I'm wondering if that's the case with Pitt.
Yeah, and I mean, watching the last three games, maybe DiNucci gives him a spark on offense. He can make plays with his feet, and maybe that's what they need. And, you know, I would expect he isn't the only change that the Panthers are going to make.
Well, I'm hoping maybe one of those guys can play defense to help them from giving up.
Well, they do get Jordan Whitehead back.
Hopefully giving up 800 yards a game, so maybe they'll be a little better on defense this week, too.
This is the big game for Pitt. I mean, you don't want to start the season 1-3.
Right.
I mean, this is one of those turning point kind of games, turning point in the season kind of games for the Panthers. So we'll see if they can keep it a game against Georgia Tech. It's one of those unorthodox offenses. They won it last year, but Georgia Tech has seemed to have their number in the past. So that's a Saturday matchup. Like I said, told that Ben DiNucci will be the starter for the Panthers against Georgia Tech. So how about the Steelers? There's a couple guys up in the air, their status. Stephon Tuitt looks like his arrow is pointing up, if I'm going to quote Mike Tomlin. He practiced again today. As for T.J. Watt, maybe a step back because he did not practice, so we'll see tomorrow.
Tomorrow's a big day, yeah. If you don't practice on Friday, you're generally not going to play on Sunday. It sounds to me as if Tuitt is going to be okay and ready to go. He really got lucky that this wasn't more of a major injury, and the Steelers really got lucky there. If Watt can't go, I'm sure they're going to go with Chickillo again. They like what he's done for them, and you know, maybe James Harrison will get in a little bit this weekend, maybe not. But it sounds to me like they really like Chickillo as the backup outside linebacker on either side.
I guess the one thing with the whole Watt injury, it's a groin injury. They require rest.
Right, they can linger on all year.
Yeah, maybe today was just a rest day to see where he is.
He's got to practice tomorrow, though, to play. Young guys have got to practice. Even old guys need to practice, but especially young rookies that are still just kind of learning everything. And he's been just such a sensation, but he's still got to practice tomorrow. If he doesn't practice tomorrow, I wouldn't anticipate he'll play.
Yeah, Friday's really telling. Most of the times, if you don't practice on Friday, or even if you're limited, you more than likely are not going to play in Sunday's game. And that's okay. The Steelers are big favorites against Chicago, but it's a team you can't look past. Mike Lennon did it to him before.
We've seen him lose games like this in the past, and this is a game they should win. The Bears are really bad, although you know they played Tampa Bay pretty tough and probably could have won that game. You never take anything for granted in an NFL game, and we've certainly seen them lose those games before.
Yeah, this is on the road, so you'll hear from Todd Haley, also Le'Veon Bell, your colleague Ed Bouchette, coming up on KDK TV, talking about exactly what we were talking about, how the Steelers play down to their competition, and that seems to be their MO. He goes back to 2014 when Glennon did beat them.
Right.
Cleveland beat them. The Jets beat them. I mean,
they've lost quite a few that they shouldn't. I mean, that's always been a knock against Mike Tomlin, right?
Le'Veon Bell today spoke in the Steelers locker room and also talked about how all he cares about right now is winning football games. And yeah, I get that. But he did say that, yeah, as a football player, he wants the ball. But if he continues on this path, what does that do at the end of the season for the Steelers? This was one of the conversations, one of the things I was thinking about today. I mean, if he has a mediocre season, I mean, do the Steelers even risk? I know we're a long way away, but do the Steelers even risk putting that franchise tag on him? And then what happens?
Well, I mean, if he has a real bad year, I can't see him paying him $14 million next year.
17, I think it is.
I thought it was 14 something, but whatever it is, it's a high number. But I don't anticipate him having a bad year. I think he's going to get it going. I think it's just this is still training camp for him, and maybe all of us kind of underestimated how important it was for him to be in camp. I thought for sure he'd come out in Cleveland and be great. He wasn't great the other day against Minnesota, although I thought he was better. But if you're going to forecast all year that he's going to be just a mediocre player, they're not going to franchise him and pay him that kind of money.
You're right, Ron. I'm thinking of the year after it would be 17. You're right, it's 14. But, you're paying a guy this kind of money to be an elite player, and he hasn't been an elite player yet. So, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Even the last couple years, he's been really good those first 2 games, but he's missed all of training camp, and you have to point in that direction that's the reason why he's off to a slow start. But, he's going to start picking it up, and I'd imagine they're going to give him the ball a lot.
Well, he touched it 31 times on Sunday. I don't know how much more they're going to give it to him. I think he had 27 carries, and he had 4 catches. That's what's been most disappointing to me. He's been so good in the passing game, but not this year. I mean, in the past, what do you have, 80-some catches the other last year before? And he's 4 catches for 4 yards. He just hasn't quite got into sync with Ben yet.
Yeah, I think it was last. We have all the stats, but I think it was 2015. He had 91 yards receiving through 2 games, and it was close to that in 2016. So this is a guy they need to be at his best to have the kind of offense they want and score 30 points, 30-plus points a game. All right. Give us a call, 412-575-2600 is the number, or you can send me a tweet at Richie Walsh. Back in a couple minutes.